guys, so it's Dixie here from Gauteng, and next to me I've got Amy Davis from
Eastern
Easterns.
Gauteng.
So Ames, you just won your semi-final.
We did indeed.
For mixed, going into the gold final. You guys are defending champs. How did that game go for you guys?
Yeah, it was a good one. I think good intensity for most of the duration of the game. It's always good playing hard touch. In a semi, it's you've played the round robin, and not as much pressure on one or two of those games. In a semi, that's the crunch. You can't lose that one. So our team came together really nicely. We had the discipline that we'd been looking for, and just played sort of solid all-round touch.
That's good to hear. So now we've got another semi of Gauteng versus Easterns.
The
We've
ladies
got Gauteng
division.
on the strike. Casey making a fantastic pass to the wing. Unfortunately, it's Eastern's ball. Mistake was made there. Can't be sure what it was. Forward pass, but it's Eastern's ball. Missed opportunity.
Also, nice high-intensity game for the starts. It's been running for a few minutes, but I think the ladies from both sides really driving really hard.
Yeah, looking for a bit of composure here. Oh, good burn there. Oh, lack of discipline. Missed the touch. Now they've got to keep the momentum up. Good down there. Looking for a strike.
I think one thing also to note, I think from these two sides, on the Eastern side, yes, you've got a couple of players that have been here for a few years, but it's a really young and fresh team with a lot of the junior girls coming through. It shows you the importance of the junior divisions. A lot of under-17s playing here, which is really great for senior IPTs. A lot of them their first IPTs, and this is a big semi-final against a team that, in my opinion, is extremely well-oiled. Great discipline. Unlucky there, should have been over the mark. Dummy half touch, that's gone in Eastern's favour.
And talking about Eastern's under-17s, didn't they win gold last year at juniors?
They did indeed, which shows you the foundation phase of touch rugby and how important it is.
Absolutely.
Got to build it up from school level. The ladies got to get used to this type of competition, and then that experience playing with a couple of seniors for a couple of years to get that little bit of guidance. And those young, fresh, energetic legs, getting them on the field and getting them to just continue growing the sport is really what's going to drive the sport forward.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see so many juniors coming through for Easterns. They look like they're playing a nice fresh style of ladies touch.
Indeed, it definitely is. And also on that note, Gauteng also, lots of juniors, got a nice Gauteng B side. And there's Eastern's try.
That's
Young
the
Rosina
first
running
try of
through
the
there,
game.
great try.
Easterns are 1-0 up.
Great momentum. The lady just kept driving there, and I think you could see that there.
And that speed from that player running through, very difficult to stop.
And I think going back to what we were saying, the Gauteng ladies as well, lots of discipline in their training, and your B side also doing really well this tournament. Great exposure for them. Lots of young juniors in that setup. So next year you'll see a couple of those probably filter through to your A side.
Absolutely. Want to build up the provincial touches as big as we can, have that depth and great style of touch. Here comes Piwo, an ex-Easterns player.
Oh, touch pass.
Let's wait for the ref. Oh,
that one was missed. I think one thing that I don't want to talk with any biases here, but the one thing that I think is extremely refreshing for me also to see from a junior side, which is something I always think players catch on a little bit later, is really falling nicely short side as a team. And I think that's something you really see nicely with the...
good attempt there. Great touch from Shannon.
And Jess, both going in there in the middle.
It's their last touch. The Gauteng ladies play a lot of one touch, so they should be... Oh, good hands there. Great hands. Oh, touch pass again. Just not executing their strike moves on the line here, Gauteng. Once they start getting that ball away, they're very dangerous, very difficult to stop. But they have to get that ball away and that ball over that try line.
Yes. The ladies driving all the way to sub box now. We need quick subs coming on. Got to keep the momentum of the game up. That's it.
Oh, left the ball behind there, unfortunately. Those are basics that you can't let go in this game. Simple things, you got to get right up to your try line to give your team a great chance of scoring a try. Although some of the Easterns girls look like they have the ability to strike from 20 out. Quite diverse and
The one thing I can say is that if this game keeps up this intensity...
Great dummy half run by Casey. Oh, that was a great touch by Easton's.
Great touch. She's going to give the try.
Easton's definitely look like they want this.
Oh, she's going to give the try.
She's going to give the try. That's 1-1 now. Puts a little bit of pressure on Easton's, but the pressure is still on Gauteng as they are defending champions.
The one thing I can say is if this game keeps this intensity up, we are in for one fabulous 40 minutes of touch rugby.
Absolutely. No matter if you finish first on the log or fourth on the log, those semi-finals are always a game of 40 minutes. You have to continue right till that final whistle.
Great momentum from the start. Just also good all-round skills. You know, if you look at it, there's not... I think that's what it comes down to as well. It's like tennis, you know, the team with the least unforced errors.
Absolutely.
So
these Easton's girls are also looking extremely athletic and agile. Second phase here by Easton's. Good falling short side by Gauteng.
I think some great work by our little Rosina there.
6
Turnover
touches.
ball now, and now we've got Gauteng hard running into the pattern.
The one thing about the Gauteng players, they always look up. Oh, not
Fumble on the wing there.
Not a great finish there of that set of 6. Makes Easton's work a little bit easier, being halfway up the field already.
I think that's the key thing here. You know, you've got to make, and especially in like a ladies division, you know, you don't have, it really steps you. It's a hard game. Running 40 minutes, you need to make sure you utilize all those opportunities. You
Absolutely.
know, losing the ball on the line, dropping it when you got a lack of drive going, really is, you know, just works on, and especially in a game of this intensity, semi-finals, it just adds that pressure, makes you more tired. And we all know one thing's for sure, it's a lot easier attacking than what it is defending on the line.
It's more fun attacking.
100%. Would rather be diving for the try than diving
For a
to
touch.
prevent the try.
Yes.
Although that's also nice when you get it right.
And yeah, if you have a look at the game of touch is definitely about absorbing pressure on defense and creating that pressure on attack. And by making those unforced errors, you're actually creating more pressure for yourselves. So, got to take control of those touches there.
Great. The ladies are really getting up. They're really stopping the momentum, which I think is doing so well in this game.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think one thing's for sure, from a Gauteng perspective, Gauteng likes to play with momentum. You know,
Yes.
they've got a big drive, subbing pattern. A lot of people say it's predictable, but it's quite a well-oiled machine. Casey always on the fifth and last, scooping.
That was a great finish there. Great dummy half run by Casey again. Very agile player. She's actually going to the World Cup this year for Ladies Open.
Yeah, I think
So
we can really
she's-
commend her. I think when she comes on the field, she's a player that's just really effective. She knows her role, and I think that's a big thing as well. People are starting to learn over the years, play your roles, to your strengths. You know, we've all got something that we're good at, something we're not as good at, and Casey really playing to her strengths, and the team playing to that, letting her set up. You know, if you're playing against Gauteng on a fifth and last, Casey's going to scoop the ball.
Yeah.
Mark your player, get in front of her, make sure you get on side. She's quick, she's agile, and even though the team's been driving with a lot of pace, she just adds an extra gear to it. So it's people don't expect it.
Yeah, so the setup with the Gauteng team is actually, they've been together for quite a while, but they do have quite a few strike players, and they all differ. But the one thing that if I can compare Gauteng to Easton's here, is Easton's, for a long time, they weren't a team that played as a team, but
100%.
having the under 17 girls in this team, they're definitely playing a good style of touch, and they're playing as a team.
It's refreshing to see, yeah.
Yes, and obviously this game is not over, so it's not determined just yet. But Easton's will definitely be a team that over the years will be that
100%.
force to reckon with.
If we can keep these ladies in the structure, I think, it won't even take, people talk about a couple of years building up.
Yes.
What Ernest has done with this team just in the season is absolutely phenomenal to watch. There's an unforced error there by Piwo. Turnover ball back to Easton's. Got to make their yards. Yards aren't so big here. The ref just needs to blow slightly bigger yards.
Ames, if I'm not mistaken, we played in the same team the last time IPTs was here. That was back in 2004.
Indeed we did.
That was a very long time ago.
I think that also shows you another thing with touch that's so wonderful. You know, a lot of guys play rugby. It's a high impact sport. You know, touch ACLs don't work so well with touch, but the one good thing about it is you've got 17-year-olds and people who've been playing for 17 years.
Yes.
So it really is a nice diverse group of people from the aged like yourself and I, Dix, who fortunately are also going to World Cup in a month's time. And we're going to World Cup with people who are going to their first one, who are 10 years younger than us,
Yes.
which is really awesome. So... And I think what's also really nice is the world over. You know, in our World Cup now coming up, there's, you know, we got 7 teams going from South Africa, which is a first for us. And also there's 110 teams going to this year's World Cup.
Oh, what a great touch there by the Eastern's winger.
Very talented Gauteng wing there on the field as well. The Moni, she'll be going to World Cup as well.
Also for her first time.
She's really also grown so tremendously as a player. So really holds her own on that wing. Really can be left to just do her job.
Yes. Yeah. She's definitely fit that winger role. Does her job and does it extremely well. Anyone that plays in her team
Look
knows
at that beautiful
that
play. Got a dump on the run there.
Throw the ball to the wing and Moni will be there.
That's it.
And dives in for the try. She's a great
and I think that's also,
team.
you know, people talk about experience. I think that's the biggest thing. You talked about a team sport. There's 60 on the field. Trust is huge. You know, falling short side. Do you hesitate because you're worried about the player on your inside, or do you feel committed that you can go and your player's got it? So I think it just shows you also the trust factor in touch. You know, and knowing you can rely on your teammates.
Absolutely.
And also the importance of communication.
Yes. And you'll see now in this game the pressure is still building, as normally in round robin games the score is quite high, but you can see how many minutes into the game and it's still only 2-1. So 16 minutes into the first half and it's only 2-1. That just shows you the pressure.
There's one of the Gauteng ladies busy talking to the ref. I think something that everyone's also trying to stop them from doing. That shouldn't have actually been allowed. I don't think a player should be talking to the referee, making the refs calls in a semi-final.
Not at all. We actually got told in our mixed game that there was no tolerance, and it was stomped out the first time a player chipped
100%
off the field.
I think that was forward.
Very fast winger.
Was that not forward?
Try. The sideline is calling a try. Although I think
a little bit messy, I think, that one.
Yes, I think Gauteng, we could have got that ball down a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
We need to respect the opponents, that they will be coming after you. This feistiness in this Easterns team, I don't think they will be giving up at all.
No, I don't think so. Like I said at the start, I think we had a full 40 minutes fight here. Dix, another topic I'm going to raise, and I think this is where maybe a lot of touch players disagree with me, but one thing I've always felt is we're here to play touch, and I think you've got to be solid in your touch, but I definitely have seen, and particularly at this tournament, the increased hard touches that I find, maybe I'm a girl, I shouldn't say that because I know a lot of girls are doing it, I find it extremely unnecessary. I think we're all here to play the game of touch. Let's play the game of touch. Let's play with skill.
Yes.
But really trying to get up and actually hurt people, stop the game, stop the momentum. How necessary is that, bringing that into our game?
Yeah, obviously the game of touch is a physical one, even though people think it's a sport for sissies or a sport for girls. It is a physical game, but there is a lot of unnecessary aggression coming from attack and defence, and all provinces. You can't even pinpoint it to one province. Everyone's guilty of it.
Yeah, 100%.
And it is unnecessary. I'd say it's very unsportsmanlike. But again, like, we rely on the referees to stomp that out from the beginning. When we go to World Cups, we get told no excessive force, and we definitely push the boundaries with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the ugliness starts creeping into a game. We need to start respecting each other and being a little bit more disciplined and not. The game just looks so much better.
Oh, and there goes Casey again.
Touch was called, yeah.
Touch called. Dummy half touch.
that also cannot be allowed. I don't even think the number 13 called the touch. And the referee had actually stopped the game there. That again.
Oh, that's a little bit messy. I think the refs need to take a bit more control with regards to what happened there.
Yeah, how would you call that one now? That's a bit. No matter how you call it, you can't actually give a try, and it's unfortunate if you don't give it a try.
Yeah,
because the whistle
I just think
did
that
go.
also shows you the importance, though. As a ref, you have to take control. You've got to be vocal. You've got to be loud. You've got to take control. And you can't let the players call the game. That's happening a little bit too much here. I think too much of the Gauteng ladies calling a little bit too much of the game to the referees.
Yeah, it's a lack of discipline. And again, that just shows that it's a little that call to me, I think, is a slightly unfair. The whistle did go, and the game did stop. Even though Casey did get through, whistle did go. Unfortunate part of the game.
And she was dummy half again, so also dummy half. It's not a given try, you still got to. If you had defence and people kept playing, you still got to score it.
Yeah. Okay, so final whistle has gone. The score as it sits now is 4-1 to Gauteng.
And short break, and then we'll be going on for the second half.
Okay, guys, we're back here. Second half of the semi-final. Gauteng versus Easterns. Gauteng on the drive here. Any team in this situation would look to score on the starting move. It really builds that pressure. Let's see what Gauteng have in store for us. Rebecca looking for the strike dump here.
Also got a lot of pace, great player. Newell with the scoop. Oh, great touch there by the link. Easton's link making a really solid touch because the Gauteng ladies were coming in with great pace there, driving together.
They held their own there. That was a good defence. Like I say, the starting move of a first half or second half is always important. It sometimes sets the tone. Although in our mixed game it didn't. We scored the first set and we didn't keep the pressure on.
I think also the difference, getting those early tries in a game is Gauteng now, as much as they've still got pressure. I mean, these Eastern girls are running at them. They got 3 tries up, it's 4-1, so it just gives you that little bit of a buffer that you can maybe play with a little bit less stress and a little bit more composure. And each little, inches, and that's where refs' calls become so important. One bad call, how it goes against the team, boosts the other team. Those little calls really make a big change in the final. Although down to referees, I must say the one thing that I can also say, yes, there's a couple bad calls. There's always going to be. Like they say, refs are human. But the one thing that I think is extremely refreshing is, I was telling a couple of the junior players the other day that I remember RPTs where I'd play a game and I'd come off and say, Amy, it's your turn to ref. And you've played 3 games in a day and off you go. You put that bib on and you're as exhausted as can be. And you've got to now go and ref a game because you've got to have Eastern's representatives reffing 10 games in a tournament or whatever it is.
Yes.
And it is so wonderful to have those beautiful dedicated referees so that we don't have to have that role put on top of us as players anymore. And I think that the work the refereeing portfolio is doing to grow them, to build them, it's stepping stones, and it's really, really refreshing and really nice to see.
Unforced error there again. The one thing I like to say with the refereeing, yes, referees make mistakes, but if you had to count all the times referees made mistakes versus all the times your team made mistakes, we as a team far outweigh those mistakes versus a referee.
100%.
So I think sometimes we like to say a referee changed that game for us, but if you start counting your mistakes as a player, great attempt there by Shannon. That was a touch here. This is not something that we like to see in the game.
Now, I saw that as a touch there.
Yeah.
Ladies getting a little bit heated on the field here, disagreeing in terms of where the touch was made. Yes. And there's the player running off, which I think also a lot of players have learned. So if you're getting frustrated on the field, rather sub, let someone come on, fresh mind, fresh legs.
Yes, and you actually want your fresh legs here at the line. Makes the world of difference.
So we got Easterns here on the line, Gauteng defending nice and tight. And the Eastern's ladies...
the mids are split though, but they went short side, ball down.
Not a great pass by the Eastern's ladies to their wing here. Now it's a turnover, Gauteng driving out of their half.
So when last was it that you refed a game at senior IPTs? Eh?
Sure, Dix. It's probably been over 6 years now. I think the refereeing portfolio has been around for a while, so maybe even longer. So those scars are long gone. Actually, no, the last one I refed was actually in Natal. When we played at Rovers. I refed then, and I actually got a compliment by good old Steve from Gauteng to say that I'd refed a great game, so I'll take that feather in my cap.
So when you retire from...
that was a great run through by Mona there. She's also really quick on the ball, great dummy. Running around just before dead ball, long ball, and unfortunately the link lady couldn't get her hands on that one. Easton's now on the line, rolling the ball to drive out of their half. What was that, Dix?
So when you retire from playing, if you retire, we know that the age groups go...
Gauteng's just scored a try, really simple try. Easton's ladies drop the ball driving at their half, quick turnover, and the ladies just not getting back on sides. Really, and now the refs called them back. Not sure what's happening here. Okay, call's been actually made. Sorry, no try. Ladies running back onto the field now. Gauteng now attacking on their line. Six touches, I think they've got.
I didn't actually see the call there. All I know is that it wasn't a try.
Easton's will be relieved about that. Gauteng ladies slowing the game down to hit and then change their pace with that Casey scoop. Quite a few of the Gauteng ladies also in the World Cup side. Whitney, Mona, Casey, Rachel, Rebecca, I think Bassi, Rati, sorry.
Yeah, Rati and Bassi both.
Yep.
Rebecca.
Which is really great to see. Gauteng lost the ball there. Easton's now driving out of their half.
The idea here for Easton's is to use all 6 touches. They've been down on their, oh no.
No control. Oh, lucky there. I think there was no control on the dump, but the ref has called it back for a touch. Easton's players looking a little bit bunched. They need to, there we go. These two really also good little players, young juniors, Leah and Tristan. Leah also went to Junior World Cup now recently. So, I think also those Junior World Cups are really helping the players to really grow. Great scoop on her. Just got to learn to finish it or pass it off a bit quicker.
Oh, forward pass called there.
So Dix, how many World Cups have you played and which one will this be?
So I've been fortunate enough to have gone to 2 Junior World Cups and 2 Senior World Cups.
So you've done 4 already?
So 4, yeah. So this World Cup for me will be my 5th.
Brilliant.
It's always an honour to wear the green and gold. And to play amongst some of the most talented players in the country. Really looking forward to this World Cup, not only for our team but for all the other teams. I think we've definitely great finish there. Great
Moni was blitz
yeah.
there.
Fantastic try there by Gauteng. As you see, Moni actually stays on the field for the entire time, and so does the close wing here in Tabi Singh. That's their role as a winger in this Gauteng ladies team. Frees up a few extra legs for the links in the mids. That's why Gauteng are able to stay as fresh as they can throughout the tournament.
Good strategy, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Here comes Easton's again.
I think as well, particularly with the far wing, the energy you expend just subbing, sprinting off the field, sprinting back on. Sometimes it is easier. Just keep that player out wide, the positioning. They're obviously having to work on D, and they're obviously having to work on attack, but obviously not as much as your mids and your links.
Yes.
So keep them fresh, keep them on that outside.
One of the difficulties of being a wing on the field the whole time is that focus. Sometimes it's very easy to lose the focus because the ball can be on the one side of the field for a good 5 minutes. You might not see the ball, and then all of a sudden you need to sprint onto that ball and finish and score a try. And it's very difficult. Oh, unlucky there.
Touch him pass
Again,
called there.
Gauteng just trying to force that a little bit too much, making one too many passes. Again, that goes back to discipline. They have their structures, they have their... Oh, again... Another unforced error. Seeing a few more mistakes here from the Easton's team. Unfortunately, the
fitness and experience and maybe being down a few touches, starting to get to the goals a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, still fighting strong. But like you say, just a couple of making it a little bit easier, giving those little 50-50 opportunities to Gauteng, and giving them a little bit more opportunity to drive.
Yeah, IPTs has always given us a few exciting comebacks. Many teams have been down by 3-4 tries at half time and have actually come back to win the game. So it's still, we've got just over 10 minutes now for this game, and anything can actually happen. So whoever puts up their hand and says they want this, they will be the ones to win this game. The score is 5-1, and that is not a score that you can defend if you think you're comfortable. You can actually lose that lead.
100%.
You could lose that lead in a
As
couple of minutes.
the saying goes, Dix, it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Absolutely.
And do we know what the scores is like in the other semi-final with the Natal Western Province? Let's ask Ruben to go look there and have a squiz what's happening in the action on the other field.
That should also be an extremely tight game.
Yes, a lot of the Western Province ladies, quite a few senior players there, a lot of experience, been around for years, a lot of them going to World Cup. playing against a very young, fresh, Chris Khailang on his KZN team. He really also installs a lot of discipline, very set structures and moves, really athletic team, really young team, also a lot of under 17s, under 19s in that team. So yeah, you got a lot of experience against youth. So let's see when Ruben comes back with a score update from what's happening on semi-final number 2.
Be very interesting to see, especially lots of ladies SA over 27s. At the last World Cup, we noticed that category was dropped from ladies over 30s to ladies over 27s. I think that's a very good move for World Touch. You'll still see ladies over 27s is a very competitive, still very athletic category. And for the first time at this World Cup, they've got a ladies over 35s, which would also be quite interesting. We've just got the score back now for the second semi-final. Western Province showing some experience. They are up 8-3. Again, that is still a score that you can make a huge comeback on, as long as you want it. There's 10 minutes left, and if you convert all your opportunities, you can win while being 5 tries down. Have you ever had a good comeback?
We have actually. So playing Eastern's mixed, we've fortunately in this tournament we've done a little bit better in terms of getting ahead and staying ahead, but plenty tournaments where we seem to have liked the pressure and added a little bit more pressure on ourselves and having to come back. I think there's a couple where we played in Cape Town the last one. I think we were down 4 or 5-1 at first half, and we won 6-5 in that particular game. So yeah, we have definitely. I think that's the biggest thing in touch, and that's something playing Eastern's mixed. It's that winning culture. It's playing with a team that loves to win. Oh, great touch by the Eastern's winger there. Great energy on the semi-final. Gauteng ladies driving really hard. Long ball there to the wing, and Eastern's diving in to make the touch and just getting it. Great touch from both teams here.
Those are always difficult ones to get. Sometimes you're unaware of where the other players are, and you're diving after a player. Try line, your awareness, your spatial awareness, sometimes can be. You can feel the pressure. Ball comes so quickly. That was a fantastic dive there by the Eastern's winger. And it's keeping out those tries that are going to keep Easterns in this game.
It's turnover ball, and now we've got Easterns driving out. Gauteng ladies fresh subs on, and they're ready to defend. I think this way it also comes down to just simple basics. You don't want to you want to use all 6. You want to get to the line. You don't want to put extra pressure on yourselves, dropping the ball halfway, and now the simple 1 or 2 drives, they're on their line, and you're having to really defend the tight game. So yeah. I think that's the importance of really making sure that some ladies.
Composure there from Easterns. Not panicking that they missed the ball in the drive. One thing that I can compliment Easterns on, normally if this was 2-3 years ago and they were down like this, they would often lose their heads a little bit and give up, but these ladies don't look like they're giving up at all. They're running with intention with the ball, and they're defending as hard as they possibly can.
It's really nice to see, like you say, from a junior team that maybe doesn't have as much experience. Well, I say a junior team, a lot of the, like I said, junior players playing against a lot of experience. I think it's really, really awesome for the game of touch. So,
yes.
It's really awesome when you see all teams. And I think even, like you said, Chris and his KZN team on the other side of the field, also a lot of new, young, fresh players. And it's just building the sport for years to come. So what I always like is you want players to come down to RPTs each year, and it can't be a given, who's going to win. It's a fresh, clean slate every year. And who's the team that's going to take gold? And I think also really nice to see the couple of extra divisions. You've got your men's over 45s for going to World Cup, which is really nice. Like we mentioned earlier, 7 SA teams going to World Cup. Great touches going on the line here. Gauteng diving in a few. Easterns diving to save those, and turnover ball back to Easterns. But Gauteng putting a lot of pressure on the line there. Let's hope Easterns can hold on to these 6 and help each other really drive this ball out and start to D. I think, like you say, starting to make 1 or 2 unnecessary passes.
Yes.
Where they really should just be holding on and driving like
great
they
dump
were
there.
in the first.
Where's the dummy half? Again, the body language is they're looking to score. Oh, great run here by Eastons. Oh, what happened there? That's a bit nasty.
We've got a couple of injuries. We had a breakthrough here and a lot of bunching for the ladies trying to get the ball. One of the Eastons players is down. She looks like she's really injured herself. I think there that Easton's wing should have stayed out wide, coming in, closing off that space that the dummy half had made. Let's just hope with the medic here that she's going to be okay. I think it's one thing, we all know this. One thing you just do not want is an injury. Particularly this close to those players who are going to World Cup as well. We need to really make sure we're careful. The importance then as well of warming up, stretching down. We've got a physio tent here with the physios, a couple of the students from WITS and led by Dan and Jenna, and really doing some great work with the teams, just showing the importance of making sure that you stretch, you cool down, your supplementation, you're staying hydrated. There's so many factors to playing a sport that you need to consider.
That preparation usually starts 6 months before IPTs. It's that conditioning that a lot of the youngsters don't recognize until they get to day 3 and their legs are quite tired and stiff and sore.
Getting out of bed is not so easy.
Yeah, so if you prepare your body for this intensity, like I have to say that I feel quite fresh this tournament.
Yeah, I think you've done some great prep with World Cup, particularly around the corner, Dix. We can see the time, the effort, the focus on your nutrition and lots of training.
The little things, like you say, the hydration, the stretching, the resting. I think a lot of people, they try and push themselves. We think we've got to go all out and train, but if your body needs a rest, you need a rest as well.
Just as important. And tell me, Dix, this year for World Cup, are you still counting your peanuts?
I am not counting my peanuts.
And I'm not talking about your money to get there, because World Cup's not the cheapest either, but we're talking about still nutrition side. I remember Dixie, the last World Cup, such focus that she at halftime she knew exactly how many peanuts she was allowed to snack on, and she most didn't go over that.
Yeah, and players would say, "Oh, please, can I have one?" Absolutely not. I'm only allowed 10.
This is my allocation of peanuts. So again, we're talking to the importance of nutrition. Dixie's been to 5 World Cups. She knows the importance of being fit, being strong, being agile, and feeling strong.
Fueling the body. We need to put that energy into our body so that we can perform to the intensity of the game. It's at World Cup. This World Cup will be 6 days. Even though it's a fairly nice schedule, we think it's a nice schedule. It's 2 games a day for us. But that heat.
I've heard Malaysia is nice, hot and humid.
Yeah, not for sissies. Apparently at Junior World Cup there were quite a few players that needed to go to hospital with heat stroke.
Sure.
So, again, no matter how prepared you are for that World Cup, you need to focus on hydration and management, not being on your legs, not being in the sun, all of those little things.
Makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference, and I think we need to respect that. Sometimes we think, we'll be okay, and half an hour we don't have our water and we struggle to play that game, and the next minute we're in hospital. So respect the weather, should I say, respect the sport. We've only got 10 seconds left of this game, unfortunately.
And Dix, give us a rundown. What's the score sitting at here with these ladies?
And if I'm not mistaken, it's still 5-1. So Gauteng didn't capitalize on being on the line here for so long.
And I think also very low score in the second half, which is great for the Easterns ladies on their D. Is Gauteng being up, you'd think that they got a little bit more wind in their...
Have to compliment Easterns though, they only let one try in that second half.
Brilliant, eh? That's what we like to see.
Yeah, that's definitely a positive coming out of that half. Unfortunately, they don't go through. But I'm willing to bet you that they're going to have a good crack in the third and fourth playoff.
100%. And we'll just get a final check on the score for Western Province and KZN, but potentially Gauteng will be going up against Western Province in the final. And then young Eastern, which is great, young, fit, agile Easterns against young, fit, agile KZN, and some experience and structure of Gauteng going up against some experience and similar type of experience and that in the Western Province side. So two nice games coming up there for the ladies.
Awesome. Thanks, Ames.
Thanks, Dix. Check you on the field.
Sweet.